Raising the Bar Redux, another fantastic project that aims to recreate Half-Life 2 from the ground up, based on beta concepts. I looked at this mod back in December of 2020, and that was Division 1.1. 2 days after I uploaded that video, Division 1.2 came out. After more than a year, I'll be looking at it. From what I can understand and tell, Division 1.2 doesn't add new maps but updates and enhances the existing content. New animations, models, optimization. Basically, this update improves everything that was in Division 1.1. The mod starts off from the train station, goes through the city, we meet up with Barney, we meet up with Dr. Kleiner, and we also see the Manhack arcade, and it ends in the sewers. So there aren't any new locations from the last time I looked at this. Before I dive deep into my review, I need to clear up some things. My 2020 video about this mod is not good. I was immature at the time, the script was bad, and my overall review made it sound like I was bashing the mod rather than giving a proper non-biased review. I kept talking about the pacing, but in hindsight, the pacing isn't that bad in this mod. I don't know why I felt like that at the time and why I ranked this mod even lower than Missing Information, which itself was already a dead project at the time. I was stupid back then and I'm more stupider now, but I feel it is my responsibility to man up and accept that I was wrong before, and I will do my best to right my wrongs in this video. So with all that said, here are my final thoughts about Raising the Bar Redux before the next Division update comes out. Raising the Bar Redux, or RTBR as I'll be calling it, is one hell of an ambitious project, just like Dark Interval. The sheer level of production on this project is outstanding, and it shows that the people working on this mod are people who love the series. They've taken on the task of recreating the entirety of the old beta storyline, and so far, from what I can see and the showcases they've been doing online, progress is going great as ever. The mod starts off with a speech from G-Man, whose voice actor has actually done a pretty good job.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. You've been waiting for quite some time now. Not that the passage of time has held.
His dialogues, from which I last time mistakenly thought were original, are actually taken from Mark Laidlaw's earlier draft of the intro dialogue. This G-Man intro feels much more bleaker than the retail intro we all know, and it suits the theme and style of the beta storyline. As you approach the station, you realize that this is a different City 17, a familiar yet unknown City 17. Gone are the Eastern European architecture, and in comes this new style with skyscrapers and American city blocks. The map starts off at dusk, and the citadel looms over the city in its ever-menacingly stature. The beautiful sunset is hidden behind clouds roaring in. Inside the station, it's somber. It looks normal but doesn't feel normal. Combine civil protection is everywhere, checkpoints, and the ever-watching eye of Big Brother directed onto every citizen. I like the original take that they did with the design of the civil protection units and the rest of the Combine units that we'll see later on. Not straight out of the beta concepts, but very similar to it. The only thing that's a little off is the vest, or that turtle shell-like armor they're wearing. And I said this the last time and I'll say it again, there's nothing wrong with the console, but his accent just feels comically villainish.
Greetings, citizens. You have arrived within the walls of City 17, having been relocated to one of the finest remaining industrial centers. City 17's manufacturing yield is such that my administration within the Citadel was established here. Whilst your work detail is organized, you will find...
The station itself is designed very much in the themes of the beta concept art. Some of the art shows the station as quite grand in nature, and that's depicted well in this mod. As we step outside, we get hit with the familiar terminal area. the design taken somewhat straight out of the beta maps, this whole area feels familiar yet new due to the addition and enhancements the RTBR team has done. Big skyboxes and the little details such as new props and textures breathe new life into this classic map design. We meet up with Barney's scout, a cut character from the game, and as we all know, he gets busted and we have to slip past civil protection. As we're rushing past civil protection, you can see the condition of how life is in the city. Militaristic in nature, oppression overloaded. We get to see quite a bit, go through dark and gritty vents, and see this absolutely beautiful scene. We also get to see everybody's favorite cut enemy, the cremator, in the underground area. He looks menacingly as ever, and the area he's in looks great too. I like how from the start to finish the designs of the maps, or at least the quality, stay consistent. Apart from some areas in the streets, which I'll talk about later. We also get to see some rebellions quickly shut down by force and the city slowly going into a lockdown of sorts. It's at this point that they know Gordon Freeman is in the city and civil protection actually manages to capture us. Thankfully, an old friend of ours manages to break us out of the jail cell. And in all honesty, while the voice actor isn't bad, his voice doesn't really match Barney Calhoun's. Plus, the quality of the audio recording isn't what I was expecting from a high-profile mod like RTBR.
About that beer I owed you. It's me, Gordon. Barney from Black Mesa. Hell of a job you did there, Gordon. But if you thought Black Mesa was as bad as it gets... Hey, listen. Kleiner, another one of your colleagues from Black Mesa. He's running an operation to get civvies out of City 17.
This is especially felt later during the conversation between Dr. Kleiner and Barney. Back out in the open, it feels like early morning now, and we resume our journey to Dr. Kleiner's lab. City 17 sure does look beautiful during this time of day. I love that early morning feeling you get from this exterior section. And at this point, I sort of realized the difference between RTBR and Dark Interval. RTBR feels more like a Marvel movie, while Dark Interval feels like a DC Comics movie. RTBR is a little more saturated in its atmosphere, but it knows when to be serious. Dark Interval, on the other hand, feels much more serious in tone and takes no chances of letting its serious tone get disturbed. Later on, we get a bunch of barriers in our way, so we go off track quite a lot to get to Kleiner's lab. Mostly it's in this main street where we hop from building to building until we reach the entrance to Kleiner's lab. This was good too. It's not that long to go through and it somewhat builds up the world and shows random encounters in some of the areas. I really like these tunnels, this huge underground area and this factory. Good stuff. Also child labor, oh my god, so dark and gritty, okay. Kleiner's lab is mostly taken from or either recreated from the beta maps. All of it looks familiar to the leaked maps we've all seen. Of course, some of the interiors are redone, such as the teleportation machine area and the machine itself. There's also this conversation between Barney and Kleiner here.
But nothing like... My god, Barney, they'll be scouring the city. Are you sure it's worth the risk?
Just get him in his suit and I could give him off to Eli's.
Eli's? But Dr. Mossman has been waiting for him.
They use some of the cut lines to make up this conversation and it's pretty interesting to listen to. No Alex though, so I'm guessing we'll be meeting up with her in later chapters. So we get the suit here. The doctor tells us about charging our suit and replenishing our health. The teleportation room looks absolutely beautiful. Looks like as if the concept art came to life. However, the teleportation sequence does go wrong as expected. While being teleported, we meet Helena Mossman, the director of the underwater Kraken facility. We also get to see the wasteland, plus see a very familiar ship out in the ocean. Now what I'm going to do is combine the rest of the mod into one quick summary, share my thoughts in a more collective fashion rather than picking out each and every single detail out there. I really like these maps, how they're designed and how they look, especially the construction site ones. They look fully detailed and unique in their own right. The gunplay in this mod feels amazing as well, and I think it's because of the great looking weapon models and the sounds. Both of these elements work together to create a nice sounding, looking and feeling gunplay. The animations for all of the guns and weapons look nice and fluid. Certainly feels like that it's made by professionals. I personally absolutely love the USP model they made for the mod. It looks so good. Regarding the music and sounds, it's actually pretty good. The original music they've got in the mod sounds very good and suitable for the atmosphere they're going for. Civil protection voice lines and the dialogues in general sound great. Now back to the maps themselves. They all take place in City 17, just in different areas, like the residential blocks, construction sites, underground tunnels, and the streets. Now I like how these maps are laid out, how it shifts from one section to the next. In some places they aren't really designed in the typical Half-Life fashion. For example, there isn't always a linear path to go down. There might be multiple places you can explore to find resources. For some players this might prove to be sacrilegious, but honestly I like this subtle element of a semi-open map nature. As long as the semi-open element of a map isn't done a little too much, I think it's fine to give the player the option to look around and absorb the world around them. In the city streets, something really caught my eye that I just couldn't shake off for the rest of the time I was here. The size of the roads. I don't know if it's just me, but these roads, they're just too small. I mean, this is supposed to be a big metropolis in a dense part of the USA, and having roads this small just feels awkward. But the rest of the maps are great, both the outside streets and the interiors of the buildings. What I would suggest for this place is adding in something that would make each subsection unique, each street unique. Maybe neon signs or billboards or anything that would separate one street from the next and give it some personality. It's not too bad, but in some cases the streets do feel like they are repeating. Overall, the city streets map were good. I enjoyed them. With the excellent gunplay, it doesn't feel boring or anything, and the occasional break in the surroundings when you move from one place to next does feel refreshing. Then comes the Manhack Arcade. Before we enter, there's a battle with 2 cremators, and honestly it's pretty awesome. Just like Dark Interval, the cremator in this mod feels menacing as well, plus you can pick up its weapon. Once inside the Manhack Arcade is where I felt a little conflicted. The way this version of the arcade is designed with its narrow passageways makes for great gunfights, but they look strange if looked at from an in-universe perspective. I mean, for an arcade where presumably quite a few people come in, it sure has a cramped design. Now it's not like it looks bad, but that feeling of being cramped inside just feels off, and it stays that way for a good chunk of these areas. In the underground areas, it does feel cramped, but here it feels appropriate to be cramped. Like these are tunnels, of course they don't have a lot of space in them. And similar to Dark Interval, I don't have much to say about the underground areas. They look good and play good. We make our way to this tunnel, jump in, and that's Division 1.2 of Raising the Bar Redux. Overall, this is another excellent mod that aims to recreate the quote-unquote beta of Half-Life 2. It has well-designed maps, the custom models for the weapons and the characters look great, and I like how true to its roots it stays. Do I think it's better than Dark Interval? Objectively, I can't say for sure, but in my opinion, it's almost as good as Dark Interval. The only reason I prefer Dark Interval is because of the atmosphere. And don't get me wrong, RTBR isn't a weak or bad mod, it's one of the best projects I've ever seen. And without a doubt, I wait patiently for the next Division update and see what they have to showcase next. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon with Dark Interval Wasteland demo. Thank you for watching.